Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and this is our weekly TV news video. Although we've actually been every other week for the past several weeks. For some reason, something seems to happen every second week that has us delay it, and then we just end up doing a double batch. But
I feel like we had two in a row not that long ago.
aye, the first two of the year.
Well, we started off strong.
But regardless, we're here now. We have renewals, cancellations, series orders, all that sort of jazz. I will say this. When I was going through the news today to assemble all this, this is one of these periods of the year where we're right after all the pilots being ordered, where there's tons of casting news for all the casting for all the pilots that I pretty much ignore 90% of, because it's A, too much, and B, we've already spoken about most of the shows, and it's just, mostly names we don't even know. We'd have nothing else to add. So just before anyone says, oh, you did talk about so-and-so being cast on this pilot, yeah, because, we've mentioned the pilot already. We're good.
So. Yeah, I mean, you say this every year because it's never going to change.
Nah,
unless you happen to recognize a name.
I feel like I when I'm doing the news at this time of year though, and I'm skipping all these things, I do feel like I'm skipping a lot. I feel like, am I being lazy here? But no, when I read the headlines, no, it's just this show we've already talked about, and then it's this cast member who I never heard of, and there's not really much to say. So we do have some news to talk about though, so we'll get cracking. Netflix has ordered a fourth and final season of Atypical, which I know is much loved. So I figured it was worth mentioning, even though
I've never seen a single second of it.
Yeah, we've never really talked about it, or I think I mentioned when it was maybe renewed last time or something like that, but we've never really spoken about what the show is. But I know it is loved. It's getting a fourth and final season, which actually puts it in the same ranks of Glow and what was the other half-hour one that just got Dear White People. So that seems to be their half-hour set kind of comedy drama. They get 4 seasons, but they get to know it's their last season though, so they get to go out in an ending.
4 seasons isn't terrible.
It's solid. It's a solid little run. Never lets it, go beyond its prime, I suppose, as well.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then, speaking of things coming to an end, not that we ever really talk about this or care about it, but I figured it was worth just mentioning that Hawaii Five-0, after 10 seasons, is ending with its coming 2-part finale in April. So, I mean,
that sounds like they did not know about it.
No, it didn't, because obviously it's a 20-something episode season. Well, it may not. I mean, if it's ending in April, it may not be a full 22-episode season. It might be a little bit shorter. But only thing I know about this show is a horrendous scene that has Subway product placement that someone linked me to a long time ago, and it is absolutely atrocious. Of this guy saying how good his Subway sandwich is.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is the legacy. Legacy of Hawaii Five-0.
Just working it out, if it's the end of April and it's a double episode that they're ending on, maybe it is a full season.
It's April 3rd.
Oh, okay, never mind then. You didn't specify that.
Because I didn't care enough to specify it.
Well, whatever. You cared enough to make me look stupid.
I always care enough for that. So next up, Tales from the Loop. This is a show that we heard was coming on Amazon, like a year or so ago, whenever they announced it was in development. But obviously they've been away, they've went and shot it and made it, and we've got a trailer now and a release date. The release is coming pretty soon, also April 3rd, funnily enough.
Because obviously I've seen the trailer now, and we're going to talk about that. Is this the one that was based on the artwork or something like that? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It already became a tabletop game, like an RPG. And obviously they've turned it into a TV show now. The premiere for the first episode, I assume it's just the first episode, maybe the first 2 or something like that, is going to be at South by Southwest on March 16th, so, which isn't relevant to most people, but I thought I'd just mention that they're doing that. But the series is coming to everyone on Amazon Prime on April 3rd, and does it mention if it's a 10 episode or what? I don't think it does.
IMDb will know, I would hope, and I will have a quick check.
Sometimes IMDb just guesses what the...
It does, but usually this close, it kind of knows, usually. They're saying 9 on IMDb. Oh, no, it's 8, and then must be something for season 2 or something.
Yeah. Basically, because I guess season 2 must have been confirmed at some point, so Amazon have got episode 1 of season 2 already listed. So, yeah, 8 episodes in, that's cool. So, The strange and intriguing tales from the town people who live above the loop. A machine built to unlock and explore the mysteries of the universe is coming from Amazon Prime. The drama series was revealed today with a new trailer, blah, 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 blah. Based on art by Swedish artist Simon Stalenhag, whose work formed the basis of the series. So the trailer for this is interesting because obviously this is based on artwork. It's not based on something with a story. So they kind of have an open season on like what to do with it. And I think when this was announced, we speculated maybe this could be Amazon's answer to Stranger Things. And there's maybe some things in the trailer that kind of give you a little bit of that, but not to the same extent.
I would never have compared it to Stranger Things if I'd just seen the trailer for the first time now.
I mean, there's definitely kids, but it's not just the kids. So
sure.
it feels kind of evenly distributed amongst different townsfolk, some of them being, I'll say, Mark Brandanowitz from the first couple seasons of Parks and Rec's got a robotic arm, for example. And we have...
There's a moment near the end of the trailer where he's holding the little girl's hand, maybe his daughter, I don't know, it just feels like it's creepy, and it's like, is it going to crush the kid's hand? Like, there's just that moment of doubt in it, and I'm like, okay, and in the trailer, I thought, okay, that's got me interested.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily getting that there was the doubt there. I was taking that more of like, there is a sort of tone to the trailer that has this kind of wonderment, but also like, should we be afraid of this weird science fiction anomaly that's happening because of this machine? And we see they've got various drawings. There's like one scene where like a dad's with his little girl like teaching a robot how to box, and then there's floating cubes and things like that. The money shot, if you will, and it's not even that much of a money shot. It's just a little intriguing thing where there's like snow falling up the way on this little area and say like a barn.
Yeah, there's like a similar one as well, like that, where there's a house falling apart, but it's falling apart upwards.
So a lot of trippy sort of science fiction things, but that's not to say that if the show itself looks like it's going to be trippy. I'm not getting like absurdness from it. I'm getting more, I don't even know how to describe the tone. Like, yeah, I don't know if I've seen anything with this tone, but I've definitely encountered this tone before, maybe in a comic or something. But like, there's kind of a, like, almost a, and when I say Twilight here, I don't mean Twilight the book series or the movies. I mean, there's almost like a Twilight science fiction-y feel to it, of like, we're kind of on the brink of something that no one understands, so everyone's just kind of like enchanted by it.
Do you know what is the tone? It's just struck me, and this is going to sound strange. It's the early moments of Leftovers.
Okay, all right.
Like okay, everything's all those people are just kind of gone, and it's like, what's going on? And it's that kind of discovery of that there, but that really kind of somber tone as well.
Yeah, but not nearly as dark though, because it's not like everyone's just died or disappeared.
No, but it's a similar sort of tone with that somber mystery.
Yeah. But there is kind of a sort of like potentially uplifting vibe to it as well, where like there could be like an uplifting swing to this.
It could.
It feels like there's a lot of stuff here with the parents and the kids kind of like bonding over this. So I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely. I want to see this when they announced it. The trailer has not. Because sometimes like I'll be interested in a premise and then I'll see the trailer and immediately go, nope, the trailer's ruined it for me. This didn't do that. The trailer for this, well, it didn't have quite as much of the visuals or the artwork in it that I was hoping for, but that could just because it's a trailer. And
yeah, they might be saving. There's definitely some unusual looking things going on, so they might be saving the big moments.
Yeah, but it didn't dwindle my interest. It sort of kept it going and went, oh yeah, okay, right, it's not blowing me away, the trailer, but it's definitely got this kind of weird vibe to it that I was kind of hoping for. I would describe it as, do you know what, I'd say it's Leftovers mixed with Tomorrowland.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's my tone chart.
Yeah. I did see as well the music they use is actually from the show, and it's from the composer of the show.
Oh, good.
So because often when you get these trailers, they'll just use music from other things. That's pretty common.
And the music's good because that's kind of what builds a lot of the mood.
Yeah. So that's why I was just checking there, and the fact that it is directly from the show gives me a lot of confidence. Yeah,
so we'll be checking that out on April 3rd. Unsurprising. But yeah,
definitely.
Big potential here from this show. And Amazon, we're at a point with Amazon now where they've had a couple of big hits for us. I mean, maybe they weren't hits commercially. I don't think Homecoming was like a huge deal, outside of...
To be fair, The Boys was a big hit commercially.
Well, I know, that's why I'm specifying Homecoming wasn't.
No, and nor was Reference.
No, exactly, yeah. But they've had a few things that we've really cared about. The Boys being one of them, which was also a big, zeitgeisty hit, I suppose.
Yeah.
Rather than commercial. I mean, it was commercial, but I just, to more specific, I'm thinking zeitgeist. Whereas Homecoming, we loved it, but it wasn't like I feel like we were one of the few people who were still talking about it by the time we got to episode 10.
I feel like we were one of the few people talking about it by the time we finished the first episode, to be quite honest with you.
Very possibly. So Tales from the Loop, hopefully it's the next big one. And it's still, obviously, we weren't super keen into Hunters. It had some potential, but didn't quite hit it for us. But hopefully Tales from the Loop is the next big thing from Amazon, at least for us, if not for everyone.
Yeah, I do like that they have definitely had a few bigger things now, though. Between, The Boys, Hunters, Good Omens was really big for them.
There was a time when it was like Amazon were really like, they had Comrade Detective, which we liked a lot, but it was definitely a small niche thing. And Netflix were clearly the ones who were making the big stuff. And I feel like Netflix has had enough stinkers recently, and Amazon's had enough big hits. And it's not like Netflix is only stinkers or Amazon's only big things, but there's been enough balancing it out between them now that I feel just as likely to get a good show from either of them now.
Yeah, I'm with you. Before, Netflix was the expected one that we'd enjoy more. Not necessarily it would knock it out of the park, but we would assume we'd like it more. And Amazon was, maybe, who knows? Whereas now I'm like, either one could give me a great thing.
And interestingly, in that Amazon role now is Apple Plus, Apple TV Plus. We got a trailer for Amazing Stories, which turns out is only a 5-episode season. This anthology show. I guess they're kind of following the Black Mirror-esque kind of episode, season length, because that's always been 3, or 6. So they're kind of just going in the middle of that and saying, hey, that'll be our season. But this is coming on March 6th, so this is a bit closer. In fact, it's really close. It's only next week. Yeah. And this is 5 episodes, so obviously it's an anthology, so you've got 5 different stories here in the trailer. So you only get like a brief, there's one where like a grandpa gets like superpowers, which Robert Forster is the actor, and I made me a little sad because he passed away, and I just saw him on Better Call Saul, and here he is again, and the dude was working right up until he died. Like because all these things coming out now after his death, it's like, no, he was working right up until then. Clearly.
That's it. The bit with Better Call Saul is such a small bit that maybe he wasn't doing regular work, and then you see this, it's like no, he was putting in time still.
Yeah, and he had a big role in Twin Peaks, which was just 2 years ago. Well, 3 years ago now. It's 2020, but
Yeah.
So he was working right up until the end, and he's a very likable dude. So I'm glad to see him again. So Steven Spielberg's producing this. There seems to be another story with superpowers, and then honestly, it's like a minute and 20 seconds. It's not really a lot to get 5 stories sold to me.
It's not. I will say, just in tone, I'm kind of comparing this to Tales from the Loop because the trailers are on the same day, rival companies, sort of thing.
Well, they're a week apart, but
same day for us.
Yeah, same day for us.
Yeah. I'm not as into the tone of this one, that's for sure.
I'm intrigued by it because it's not. I think as much as I was comparing the season length to Black Mirror, I do kind of appreciate that it's going for a completely different tone to Black Mirror. This is way more lighthearted and hopeful in what it's doing.
Yeah, we spoke a lot before Apple TV launched about their desire to be really family friendly, and this definitely feels like we're hitting that.
Yeah, I mean, Servant definitely didn't. I don't know what
I don't know what happened there. I'm just going by everything we were told before Apple TV launched or Apple TV Plus. Obviously, now we know the reality is not quite as close to the truth as that.
Yeah, they're maybe not going R-rated, but there's definitely some stuff that's on the upper end of PG-13. Certainly, it's darker in tone. But this is going for. I mean, I'm definitely intrigued to at least check out an episode of this and see how it is.
I do wish this wasn't the same day as that we have to watch the double episode of Devs.
Was that the same day? Oh well, I mean,
because Devs, I'm like, whoa, excited for that one.
Yeah, I mean, my expectations have been muted slightly because the reviews have not been stellar for it. But
don't tell me that.
I'm sorry, but they've been very mixed. The word misfire was uttered.
Maybe they just don't get it.
Maybe, but the review I read did praise these movies. They praised Ex Machina and
damn it,
and Annihilation, and then called it a misfire. I think that was Variety that called it a misfire. So there was only one review I read, but they seemingly were mixed across the board. So obviously we're still going to check it out. I'm hoping that I disagree with them and it's this misunderstood masterpiece. But
it happens occasionally.
It does. So yeah, we'll see how Amazing Stories ends up being. Maybe it's one that we'll get to a day later if we do try an episode. But it does seem like the sort of thing that's worth at least checking out. So that's coming March 6th. So I didn't really realize Devs was like next week, man. Time's creeping up.
Do you know what? It keeps throwing me off because I'm away for a bit of next week as well.
Mm.
So I come back and it's like, oh right, okay, double episode, and then I've got to catch up on the stuff I've missed, like Better Call Saul, for example. So I have to catch up on that, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have so much TV to watch that weekend, especially now it's launches as well.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning. There's a good chance that Better Call Saul next week will just be me on my own for the review. I'll throw that out there because
yeah, I mean it's probably going to be.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to some stuff then. We're actually straight on to. Wait, are we? Why is this? Why is this already here? Yeah, okay. So there's one more trailer I want to mention. We don't have to really talk about it because you've not watched it, and I don't think you want to.
Oh, okay. I was going to give you shit then because I specifically said, okay, is there anything I need to watch? And you told me these two. And...
No. Don't jump the gun. This is the Westworld season 3 trailer that came out last week, which I did watch. And I know Card wouldn't want to anyway. Having seen it, I don't think he should because it is spoiling. Now, admittedly, I've already forgotten a lot of what I saw anyway, so I'm not feeling too bad about it. But I will say this: it looks good. Like, it looks damn good. Like, it looks like season 1 and 2 were a prelude to what they really wanted to do. And this is the real story that they wanted to get to. Because the first season's like their weird, like, mind trippy, like, version of the movie, right? It's the West, the theme park and there's robots
and the mystery, yeah.
Right. Season 3 is like no. This is a war between androids and humanity, and even android versus android. We were talking a lot last season about Maeve versus I've forgotten all the names. Dolores, yeah. And
I'm surprised I remembered that, to be honest with you.
And the trailer, is really hinting that might be and plus there's big mech things going around, and it's great. I'm so into it.
I'm glad I didn't watch the trailer because I don't want to know anything. I know I'm going to watch it. I'm already kind of excited enough for it. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
and then especially when you said, it's full of stuff, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm quite glad.
Yeah, and the poster's great as well. The poster's very Terminator looking. It's like just a skeleton, sort of on its knees.
I don't think I've seen the poster.
I think Terminator, but instead of the Terminator sort of kneeling down, looking intimidating, it's more like kneeling down in a sort of my world's just ending and I'm miserable kind of pose. That
is a nice poster.
That's good. So Westworld returns on March 15th. It's basically the week right after The Outsider ends. So we are obviously going to be covering that. We're very excited about Westworld. So I thought it was worth mentioning.
Yep.
We have a premiere date for Ryan Murphy's next Netflix show. It's coming May 1st. It's a limited series. It's called Hollywood. And it follows a group of aspiring actors and filmmakers in the post-World War II Hollywood as they try to make it in Tinseltown, no matter what the cost. So, yeah, that's basically it.
It's a setting I can get behind.
The poster's kind of interesting. It's kind of it's like a shot from behind the Hollywood sign, but it's not the whole thing. It's just like the H and part of the O. But there's a couple of wannabe actors up in the top, just sort of fairly small, but very I don't know. Ryan Murphy's more missed for me than hit, but this is coming May 1st. So
yeah, he can pull out a gem though, and you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Here's a bit of casting news that I'm excited about. Right.
Go
on. Priya Ferguson has been up to series regular in season 4 of Stranger Things. Who is she, you might ask? Well, you can't spell America without Erica.
Good.
I am most pleased with this. She already looks like she's pushing 40 on this new photo in the article I'm looking at compared to what she looked like in season 3. She's ready to cash a pension check already. I'm kidding, but the point being that she already looks like she's grown, a foot, and her face just looks more mature compared to because she was 10 last season, and now she's a preteen. She's 13 or 12 or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Big difference at that age. So. Cool stuff. She was kind of a breakout hit in season 2. Everything with her in season 3 was great. So her being more part of the cast in season 4 is nothing but good news.
I have nothing to complain about here.
No, nothing at all. I'll just briefly mention that Friends reunion thing that was rumored a while ago is now officially happening. It's unscripted. It's not a new episode. It's just the cast coming together for a special for HBO Max to sort of help launch the whole service. It makes sense. They're probably paying them a fortune to pull this off, but.
Do you know what? Even if it is unscripted, It's probably a good investment.
Probably. Yeah, there's a lot of people who will sign up to that just for this, probably. Just to be able to watch Friends, day after day for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. That's what it is. So that's happening. All right, so now we're out of the show orders and things like that. So we'll start off with the comedies here. Showtime's given a pilot green light to The Curse, a half-hour comedy from Uncut Gems directors and co-writers Benny and Josh Salfty. And also Nathan For You creator and star Nathan Fielder. So written by these people. The Curse stars Fielder and co-stars Benny Salfty. So he's also in it as well. Was he in the movie? I wonder if I just didn't recognize him. I don't recognize the photo, so maybe it wasn't. But anyway, it explores how an alleged curse disturbs the relationship of a newly married couple who star in philanthropy. That's not one of my words that I'm not good with. Their troubled HD TV show. So it's about a couple who have a TV show, and then there's a curse.
Okay. Very little to go on. I assume this is a comedy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, sure. I don't know what they're like as in the comedy angle. Uncut Gems was not a comedy.
No, not at all. Well, a little bit, but not.
I mean, there were funny moments. Don't get me wrong. A lot of dark movies have moments of brevity, though.
Yeah.
But an actual comedy is a different ballgame entirely. So I don't really know what to expect.
Yeah. Next up, Courtney Cox. So speaking of Friends, an article ago.
You couldn't have just linked these around. Just
I had a power cut tonight. Okay, I kind of threw this together a bit more of a rushed fashion than I normally do. All right.
He's making excuses.
Give me peace. She is going to star in Shining Vale, Star's new horror comedy pilot from Divorce creator Sharon Horgan and Trial and Error co-creator Jeff Astrof. Trial and Error was very good. I never watched season 2 yet, but season 1 was very good. So that is cool. So here's what it's about. Shining Vale stems from an idea by Kaplan. That's Aaron Kaplan from Kaplan Entertainment. I didn't bother reading the rest of that crap, but they had to get it in there, so I'd have to say it, didn't they?
As soon as they just say Kaplan, I'm like, oh, okay, I know where this is going.
The horror comedy is about a dysfunctional family that moves from the city to the small town into a house in which terrible atrocities have taken place. But no one seems to notice except for Pat, played by Courtney Cox, who's convinced she's either depressed or possessed. Turns out the symptoms are exactly the same. Okay, so I wonder if they're actually going to play it as is it real or not? Is she just depressed?
Yeah. I'll be honest. It loses a little bit of bite in the sense of, any horror comedy or horror or sci-fi, where they're dealing with actual themes, and you using the horror or sci-fi element as the metaphor and the stand-in.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of loses a lot of the impact by just saying, "Hey, look, they're exactly the same," rather than just seeing that as it goes. Yeah,
I mean, the TV show might not make it as bold as that. This is a log line to sell it, so
it could be. Yeah,
they have to be blunt about it, So that is that. Next up, ABC's given a pilot order to an untitled single-camera comedy written by Splitting Up Together creator, co-executive producer Emily Kapnick, to be directed by Splitting Up Together director, executive producer Dean Holland. So they're together again. And they also have the news here that Quintessa Swindle, who was in Trinkets, is going to star in the pilot. So it's untitled. It's described as a love story with a twist, centering on New York City teenager Lennon Cochran, whose life is turned upside down when she stumbles on a family secret. Family secret? Is that?
I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that kind of counts. Counts for the drinking.
It does.
I shall move on. HBO Max has handed a pilot order to Minx from writer Ellen Rappaport and produced by Paul Feig's FICO Entertainment. Half-hour Minx is set in 1970s Los Angeles and centers around an earnest young feminist who joins forces with a low-rent publisher to create the first erotic magazine for women. Yeah.
All right. I forgot that one was a spicy one.
Oh, very, very well. I mean, Paul Feig's producing this, but that doesn't necessarily mean it'll have much.
He produces tons of TV.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like it's an interesting premise. HBO. I mean, this is the thing. We have no idea what a show on HBO Max feels like yet. I mean, we're kind of making a leap and saying it might just feel like HBO, but we don't know that for sure.
We could, yeah, it could be completely off base. They might have just used the name for brand awareness, and it might feel like any of their other cable channels or networks.
It might feel new. It might feel like their version of FX as opposed to HBO.
Yeah, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing.
No, it'd be fine. It'd just be kind of weird that they have that level too.
Yeah. I mean, that said, if it just feels like HBO, it kind of makes HBO feel a bit redundant.
That's true. That's true. I mean, the good thing is, if it does just feel like HBO, though, it just means we have double the amount of HBO content, because now they have to fill...
That's true, and we do like a lot of HBO content.
So, I mean, that's not a bad thing. Next up, Amazon's put in development Mitchcraft. That's Mitchcraft with an M. just in case it's not coming to... Although it does say here it's a working title, so they could change it.
Oh, don't you dare, you bastards. That's such a good title.
It's a hybrid comedy series from Psych duo creator, executive producer Steve Franks and executive producer Chris Hens of Throughline. So, yeah, that's a horror comedy. Fully formed entertainment duo of Brad Fuller and Andrew Form are producing it, and they're behind Quiet Place, The Purge, and Ouija. And that was actually the right order in terms of quality. Quiet Place, pretty good. Purge, okay. Ouija, garbage. So, they ordered them right. Mitchcraft is a newly invented subgenre, aspirational horror, and aims to make scary fun again. Described as a two-handed relationship comedy with a genre twist, Mitchcraft follows a small-town fire marshal who realizes he may have inadvertently harnessed the power of supernatural and become, lack for a better term, a witch.
I'm in. Honestly, I was in from the title. You get a good title, you get me interested, and nothing there. Okay, let me rephrase that. You get a good title, you get me in the door, and I'm interested, and then your description can make me go, screw this.
Hold on a second, though.
Nothing turned me off there.
What if the main character's name isn't Mitch?
Then I'm very, very confused.
Just checking. Seemed like it was worth looking at.
Yeah, I'm taking a leap and just assuming his name's Mitch, but I mean, I could be wrong. Who knows?
Oh, that's what happened earlier. Is that one of my tabs duplicated? We've done this one already. That's why, because this one about the curse appeared at the start, and I had to skip it until we got there. But that's just because it duplicated. It's fine, everyone. I figured it out. It's good. Next up,
a problem.
This is the third horror comedy series that we're going to talk about today.
Is horror comedy as a TV show
apparently, but anyway, so Showtime's confirmed that they're developing a half-hour series called The Auteur, which will star Jude Law.
So this is the horror comedy, yeah?
Yes, and will be directed by Taika Waititi.
Say no more.
Who will write with Peter Warren. So yeah, we got some serious names on this one. Based on the graphic novel by Rick Spears, James Callahan, and Luigi Anderson, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that at least one of them is the artist, and that's good points. The Auteur is described as a gonzo horror comedy, a twisted romance, and a glamorous high-wire act of biting satire. In it, desperate to make a great horror movie after a massive bomb, a film producer accidentally traps his production on a backlot with a serial killer. This sounds amazing!
I love everything you've said so far. Is Jude Law the serial killer or the auteur?
He has to be the auteur.
I kind of hope he's both.
So he's trying to make a horror film, and he inadvertently traps his entire crew on set with a serial killer. That sounds amazing. And Taika Waititi directing and co-writing? Yes.
Sign me the hell up.
Yes. Showtime. Bring in the goods for once.
I doubt there is anything else we can talk about in this news that will be anywhere near as exciting as this.
Well, we're about to go into the dramas, so I'll take this time to thank our Patreon producers for the month. Well, I mean, technically this is March, but you know what? I'll throw the new one a bone. David Short, Alison M. Fordyce, Cindy Palacios, Tyler Hess, and Talking Superman. Thanks to you guys for being Patreon producers. That means that they're all patrons at $20 or above tier. But you can, of course, support us at patreon.com/MailFusD for as little as $1 per month and get bonus episodes of some of our movie podcasts and some bonus outtakes and tangents. $5 get you early access to some stuff, as well as voting rights and some other shows. So go and have a look and see if you're interested. And help support all the content and keep everything coming and so on and so on. And yeah, go do that. There. All right, we'll move on. We'll move on to the dramas. So, I don't know. I feel like if Matt was on this show, this next one would be more exciting to him than the last thing.
Is it featuring wrestling or a bear?
Neither. Well, I mean...
Hockey.
There could be a bear, potentially, but I don't think so. No, this is more going to his love of pulp and Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Right. Doc Savage.
Okay, fair enough.
So, yeah, Sony Pictures Television and Neil H. Moritz, Sony-based original film, have partnered with Condé Nast Entertainment. Condé Nast, not Candy. I said Candy without thinking about it. Condé Nast Entertainment to develop a scripted television series based on the Doc Savage pulp fiction franchise from the Street and Smith library. The project is part of a 3-year deal with original film signed with the TV studio last summer. The scripted series will chronicle his adventures, featuring rampaging dinosaurs, secret societies led by dastardly villains, fantastic gadgets and weapons, death-dealing traps, hair-raising escapes, and plots to rule the earth.
I mean, it sounds pretty good and fun, don't get me wrong.
I'm not, I've heard of Doc Savage. I'm not super familiar with Doc Savage, though. I have to admit.
I'm kind of just culturally aware.
Yeah.
Of Doc Savage. Do you know, though? To make this one more interesting than the last story, to make me more excited, there's one easy thing you could do.
Which is?
Tell me Taika Waititi's director.
I don't think so. I mean, he's very busy, right? He's very busy.
Honestly, though, that sounds like it could be fun.
It does. And speaking of Taika Waititi things, I think What We Do in the Shadows season 2 is coming soon, and I love season 1 when I caught up over Christmas.
I've watched 3 or 4 episodes now, and I really like what I've seen, and I need to get back and finish off the season.
Yeah, really good.
It's pretty good, which isn't a surprise because I've kind of loved everything I've seen from Waititi, to varying degrees, but there is nothing that I haven't gone, yeah, this is great. So why wouldn't this be?
Yeah. So, cool. Doc Savage is in development as a major show. That'll take us on to the next thing, which is a Amazon show called Outer Range. Josh Brolin is going to star in the mystery drama. So, this is cool.
Mystery drama. You said that with a weird inflection. I'm assuming this is a mystery that it is. Not it's a mystery of the plot, as we don't know what it is.
Well, I'll keep reading and find out, shall I? So Brian Watkins, who's a playwright, is going to executive produce along with Brolin. Created by Watkins, Outer Range centers on Royal Abbott, played by Brolin, a Wyoming rancher struggling to hold on to his family and way of life, who must grapple with the unknown after discovering an unfathomable mystery on his land. Interestingly, the word unknown is capitalized.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if is that teasing just a murder mystery, or is there something supernatural going on? It's actually kind of vague the way it says it.
I suspect that might be the point.
Maybe it is supernatural. Maybe it isn't.
You'll have to find out. Yeah. That's the mystery.
Well, this is a secret sequel to The Goonies, and eventually his little brother, played by Sean Astin, is going to pop up.
Well, that would be a surprise.
And then the rest of them show up, including the chubby one who's now a skinny lawyer.
Is he actually?
Yeah, he is. He's something like that.
Fair enough.
But, good stuff.
But he's definitely skinny, though, right?
Yeah, he's skinny and bald. I remember seeing a photo of him. Yeah. Okay. So next up, Amazon again. Amazon Studios has hopped on board with Macro Television Studios to partner with Ava DuVernay in her Array Film Works to develop a TV adaptation of Octavia E. Butler's 1987 sci-fi novel Dawn. So we have a sci-fi novel being adapted. Ava DuVernay's only producing, I think, but I mean, we got a big name there. Victoria Mahoney, who worked on Rise of Skywalker, but also Lovecraft Country, which I'm looking forward to, so hopefully it's better than Rise of Skywalker. I don't suspect this Mahoney character, though, is to blame for the mess of that movie, though. I feel like there's a lot of reasons to blame for that.
I literally don't know who this person is.
She's Victoria Mahoney. What do you want from me?
Yeah, but I don't know what she did on Rise of Skywalker.
She's going to adapt and direct the pilot. The project's been marinating for a while. Deadline reported that Macro, Ray, and Mahoney were developing the show, the series in 2017. I do not remember. Maybe we talked about this back then, but I do not remember it. It's been 2 years, 3 years now, actually. Even I keep doing that. I'm amazed not like used to the fact that it's 2020 yet.
I know we're like 2 full months in, and you just still have not grasped that.
Once we're in spring, I'm good, but the first couple of months are a bit rough. So Amazon's on board now, because this is the thing. Amazon weren't attached before. Now Amazon are with them to develop it, so it gives you a good, it's going to happen now, basically. But the book, which was optioned by Macro, won a Hugo Award and tells the story of a black woman who works with aliens to resurrect the human race 250 years after a nuclear war. That's pretty big.
Yeah,
premise.
I'm pretty sure I'd remember if we spoke about this.
Yeah. So this is pretty interesting. Sci-fi genre, yeah, this is all just kind of fluff at the end. But like, this is actually pretty interesting. Like I feel like when I read the headline, I saw the image of the book. The book looks kind of weird, but not in a good way to me. the cover.
What was the book called again?
Just Dawn, just DAWN. It doesn't look like the sort of thing that captures my eye, but honestly, reading that description actually sounds quite interesting. So, go for it. Connor's googling for the book.
I want to see this book. I don't know what cover you're seeing, admittedly, but
the bottom half's kind of gold, and it's like the woman kind of surrounded by like I think flower petals.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be honest. If I just glanced at that on a shelf, I wouldn't even be aware it's sci-fi. I assume it's some sort of period piece.
Book 1 of the Xenogenesis series. Well, that would tell you it's sci-fi.
Oh, true. Yeah, if I saw a Xenogenesis series, I might have an idea.
It's in the little small white writing that's in the middle of in the big massive gold title and the golden picture.
But I'm intrigued. Hey, look at that, Amazon bringing more sci-fi to the table. I'm always for more sci-fi shows. So go for it. And speaking of sci-fi, but now we're going to the network sci-fi.
So a step down in quality, most likely.
They've given a 10-episode series straight to order to Day of the Dead, based on the George A. Romero classic zombie film from Cartel Entertainment, who made Creepshow. They've also ordered the Surrealtor, so I think realtor, but with Sir in front of it, so Surrealtor, the Surrealtor. They're going for like a play on words here.
I got it. It wasn't that complicated.
I was sure. I feel like when I said it, Surrealtor, I wasn't sure it was really coming across that the word realtor was kind of what it was doing.
I got it the first time.
That's fine. Anyway, Day of the Dead follows straight series picked up by Sci-Fi, another classic horror movie title. Chucky. Yeah, that's right. Chucky's in development of Sci-Fi, which is a continuation of the original continuity. Not to be confused with the remake that came out.
Has that not happened yet?
Not happened yet. I mean, it's still in the works apparently, but
it's been chugging along for so long. I kind of assumed it would either happened already and I missed it, or it was dead.
Yeah. So here we go. This is a proper description here. So written by Jed Elinoff and Scott Thomas, who will also showrun. Day of the Dead is the intense story of 6 strangers trying to survive the first 24 hours of an undead invasion. This ode to Romero's famous flesh eaters reminds us that sometimes all it takes to bring people together is a horde of hungry zombies trying to rip them apart. Here's the weird thing, is like, obviously, like your immediate thought must be, okay, Sci-Fi wants their Walking Dead, right? That's number one. And they already had Z Nation, I think was their show, but it didn't exactly blow up big. This has got some name recognition. Okay, cool. But they're specifically saying Day of the Dead. Now that might just be because that's the only one they can get the rights to use, rather than Dawn of the Dead. Because given what they say here, it sounds more like a dawn, as in the start of the thing, as opposed to
yeah, that's true.
But I mean, the plot doesn't make me think of any of the Dead movies, really. It sounds different from all three of them.
I think they just got the name and went, we can do whatever we want now.
It probably is. I mean, I'd like some thematic things from Day of the Dead to be in it, just to make it an actual Day of the Dead TV show, but I mean, we'll see.
It's probably just the zombie show that they managed to get a name that people will recognize for.
Yeah, that makes sense. And this,
you mentioned Walking Dead there. I've been seeing the GIF going around this week. I don't know if you've seen that.
no.
It was on Twitter, like, you know, people going, "Hey, I really liked the first couple of seasons or whatever, and I fell off, and then I just saw this, and it's like, what the hell's going on?" And I think I'm sure I think it's a disguise or whatever, but it is basically, a normal human person kissing a zombie is the image that's going around, like this GIF that's
Hey,
going around.
10 seasons in, you got to shake things up.
And I'm like, yeah, I forgot this was still a thing, and then this is why.
And the realtor Nick Roman, and an elite team of specialists handle cases that no one else can. Haunted and possessed houses. I know it sounds like he's a SWAT team or something. He's a realtor. But no, they handle haunted and possessed houses that literally scare would-be buyers away. Researching, investigating, and fixing the things that go bump in the night. The team works to create closure and closings, even as they struggle with demons of their own.
I think that counts, doesn't it?
That's kind of personal and professional lives there.
I will give them credit in that it is exactly what the name suggests.
Sure. Oh yeah, no, I mean, like, they're going for a sort of play on words title. The play on words makes sense given what it is. It's a realtor who deals with supernatural houses, you know? So, points. Now, I don't have a lot of confidence in sci-fi these days to make good shows. These are both things that are clearly worth watching an episode of, but, you know.
Well, we'll see a trailer before we make that.
Okay, but it's something we'll consider.
We will consider.
There'll be considerations. Next up, Netflix has unveiled their first Nigerian original, a drama from Via director Akin Omatozo, if I'm pronouncing that right. So it's a 6-episode series. It's untitled right now. But the series is set in contemporary Nigeria and shot in Lagos. It tells the story of Kemi, a goddess reincarnated as a human to avenge her sister's death. But first, she must learn how to use and harness her superpowers to defeat her enemies and save her family from destruction.
That got less interesting.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, it sounds like a sort of typical someone's got superpowers. I mean, they've got this sort of backstory here of reincarnation of a goddess, but yeah.
That was the bit that was interesting to me. And then it was just, oh, look, it's superhero. Well, I mean, I like superhero stuff, but I mean, that was interesting already.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Nice to see Netflix spread into more countries, though, in terms of their originals being produced. Never a bad thing.
Yeah, they've had some really interesting things from quite a variety of countries.
Yeah, speaking of Netflix, Eric Newman, who's been working on Narcos and Narcos Mexico, is going to do an opioid drama called Painkiller. It's a limited drama series from Netflix. He's got an overall deal there. So, yeah. Peter Berg, who worked on The Leftovers and Friday Night Lights, is going to direct all 8 episodes. So, you got a good director there. I mean, I don't know which episodes of The Leftovers were his, but I mean, that show always was well directed, so...
There was never a bad director on that show.
Yeah. So it makes sense. So
feels weird to typecast yourself as a creative to go from one drug story to another.
Yeah, it's based on a New Yorker article about the opioid epidemic. So
yeah,
nothing really in depth to say about the description of the show, but not Netflix original, doing different stuff. This guy clearly likes to tackle real world things. So it's the drug trade and And then now it's the
he must have a passion for that specific stuff because like I say, why would you otherwise pigeonhole yourself into doing one afy the other?
Yeah, maybe
that's 3 in a row essentially.
Yeah, maybe he studied these things. Maybe he used to be a journalist or something like that, or who knows? But
maybe he's just interested. But
yeah, very possibly. Next up, Veep star Tony Hale, although many of us will know him as Buster from Arrested Development, thank you very much, has been tapped for the lead role in The Mysterious Benedict Society, which is Hulu's adventure drama series, which is coming. It's based on the young adult novel by Trenton Lee Stewart. So it's written by Matt Manfredi and Phil Hay. The Mysterious Benedict Society is the tale of 4 gifted orphans who are recruited by an eccentric benefactor, played by Hale, to go on a secret mission. Placed undercover at a boarding school known as the Institute, they must foil a nefarious plot with global ramifications while creating a new sort of family along the way. Really cheesy ending there.
Yeah, I was trying to decide if that counts as personal and professional, but I think
I don't
if you're
think
kids,
so.
it can't count.
Nah, I don't think it counts. I think I can count my kids. I just don't think that ending went far enough to really make it that. But
Okay.
yeah, young adult means I'm probably not going to be interested. But I do like Tony Hale, so
Yeah, but not enough.
yeah, there's a little bit. I mean, it's more of a infiltration, admittedly, but it's hard not to think a little bit about Umbrella Academy or any of these other things where it's orphans and a billionaire and.
Yeah. It definitely sounds really young adult, though, the way they describe it there.
Oh yeah, the way they're focused on certain things definitely sounds that way.
Yeah.
Next up, Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd are back together for an MRC television limited series called The Shrink Next Door, which is based on the 2019 number one. This is a new thing. Wondery and Bloomberg Media podcast. Okay.
I'll let you off on that one.
The last time the duo started together was Anchorman 2 in 2013. Man, it's been 7 years since Anchorman 2.
Really? To be fair, I had that feeling this week when I've been rewatching the James Bond movies.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized Casino Royale, like next year, I'll be 15 years old. And I'm like, what the hell? And then even just as recently as the last one, Spectre, there was like a behind the scenes thing for the new one coming up, and they were talking about how Bond's been retired for like 5 years, and that's where we're kind of picking up. I was like, okay, they're just kind of skipping some time, whatever. And then I went, hang on a second, it's actually been 5 years. What the hell? Like, where did that happen?
In the last 5 years, that's when it happened.
Yeah. I genuinely thought that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Nah, this happens to me all the time. I remember 2 years ago when I realised The Dark Knight was 10 years old and I nearly shot a brick. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How's that 10 years old already?
You don't really think about it, and then you look at it and you go, that can't be right.
I mean, yeah, we just I mean, you guys won't see it for a little bit, but we just did a review for Serenity yesterday, and that movie's 15 years old now. 15 years old.
Yeah.
I was 16 when I saw that movie. Like, it's literally like I'm almost at the point where that's half my age. Like, not quite. I'm not quite there, but it's getting close.
Nearly, very nearly.
Getting close. I mean, I've not turned 31 yet. I'm still 30, but like, anyway.
It's coming soon, mate.
So, inspired by true events, The Shrink Next Door is a dark comedy following a bizarre relationship between psychiatrist to the stars, Dr. Isaac Ike Hirschkopf, played by Rudd, so he's like an actor shrink, and his longtime patient Martin Markowitz. Martin Markowitz, played by Will Ferrell. Over the course of their relationship, the all too charming Ike slowly takes over Marty's life, even moving into Marty's home and taking over his family business. The series explores how a seemingly normal doctor-patient dynamic morphs into an unprecedentedly exploitive one filled with manipulation, power grabs, and dysfunction at its finest. Now, I like Paul Rudd well enough. I typically hate Will Ferrell, so I'm good.
I love Paul Rudd. I'm hit or miss on Will Ferrell. I think they have a lot of good chemistry together, though. So I might really like this.
Yeah. Honestly, the photo here, Will Ferrell's starting to look quite old. I mean, maybe.
Don't say that.
What?
You can't say that. Everyone knows that's not true.
I don't know. Will Ferrell's looking pretty old. Paul Rudd, alternatively, I know he's 50. But he doesn't look like he's 50. He looks like he's maybe scraping 40. Maybe.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Will Ferrell recently.
No, he's completely grey now in this photo, and he just looks a little bit. Just a little bit older. He's starting to look like an old man. But I mean, he's probably in his late 50s now, to be honest. So it's probably fair play.
Shall I find out how old he is while we're at it?
How old is Will Ferrell?
52.
Maybe you should watch what he's eating a little bit then. Maybe look a bit healthier, a bit livelier. That's all I'm saying. I kid. Like, I don't really care. He looks old in this photo. Maybe this is just a bad photo, but
maybe.
But hey,
I mean, he looking at just some of the pictures, I'd say he looks around 50-ish. He looks his age.
Fair. That's fair. Whereas Paul Rudd, on the other hand, still looks like he's. Like Paul Rudd could still play like a mid-30s character, and you'd get away with it. No one would question it.
No, you're right. It's like what I saw the other day that Rami Malek is like almost 40. And
yeah, that's surprising.
Izzy balls. Like he could still get away with playing mid-20s comfortably.
Yeah, I thought it was younger than me, if I'm honest.
Yeah, he's coming up on 40, and you're like, what?
Oh well. All right, last news story of the week. ABC Entertainment President Kathy Burke and EVP Development and Content Strategy Simran Sethi unveiled that they're ramping up their efforts to move its development process to off-cycle, and with that we have an off-cycle pilot order, because obviously the pilot orders all came, like a while ago now. Yep. So they've added a medical drama pilot to Triage. Which will be produced outside the typical pilot window. I'm not going to lie, Triage sounds really familiar. I'm almost convinced we spoke about this already somewhere, somehow.
The name alone, maybe it's just such a generic name that we're like, yeah, we probably...
No, do you know what it is? It's because normally this doesn't faze me, because we'll talk about what's in development, and then like a couple of months later we'll do, okay, these are the pilots that order, so we will sort of bring up a lot of the same shows again. I wonder if this was in development the same time as everything else, but it's only just now coming to pilot, so it feels like, wait, did we cover this already?
It's possible.
That's my guess. So, where are we? What's the description? Give me it.
It's just thrilling.
Medical drama, blah, blah, blah. There we go. It's like 10 paragraphs down the article. Usually it's like the third paragraph. What the hell is this bollocks? Come on, deadline. Triage is a character-driven medical drama that follows a pioneering surgeon, Finlay Breyer, who over the three distinct decades at the same hospital. So I assume different actors, maybe? Well, at least for the first one and the last one. Or maybe not. It depends, I guess. With the evolution of medicine as the backdrop, the show explores the interconnected careers, friendships, and romances of Finlay and her colleagues and their tenuous relationship with time. I think interconnected careers, friendships, and romances counts as...
Yeah, it's personal and professional.
Yeah,
it's coming. Shut up.
There you go, that's the last story. I don't think we have anything to add about that one. It sounds just kind of dull and medical drama-ish.
Yeah. Buffalo Trace is pretty nice, so,
Oh, yeah, it's very good. So, there you go, that's TV news. Worth mentioning, of course, as we said, Devs is coming next week. The first two episodes are airing together, so we'll have a big double review coming late next week. Anything else to tell about coming next week? Obviously, we're still doing Outsider. That's almost at the end now. We're still doing Star Trek Picard. That's me and Tara doing that one. We did try Hunters over the last week or so. We did the first two and decided it wasn't for us to continue, but it wasn't terrible either. So maybe check out the review and see if it sounds like something you'd be into.
Yeah. We also had Better Call Saul return this past week.
Oh, of course. We had the first two episodes, and it's great as ever. We had good fun talking about those first two episodes, so that'll be something we'll be doing every week now, of course, until it's done. So yeah, a lot of TV stuff happening. There's a lot of stuff going on. Some big shows worth mentioning.
We're starting to get into the season. We got Saul, we got Devs to try. We're not far away from Westworld, and then we've got Tales from the Loop not long after that. There's things starting to stack up.
Yeah, Fargo was back in April as well.
Right?
Yeah, Fargo's back in April. So yeah, we'll see. We should have at least a 2 or 3 good show or worthwhile talking shows at least soon. So that should be cool. So let us know what you think of the news in this week's show in the comments below. You can like and subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the show, you can rate the podcast, Apple Podcast, give us 5 stars and a little review. Helps more people find us if you do that. We also, of course, mentioned Patreon earlier if you want to support us financially and keep all the content coming. That's patreon.com/mailfuzztv. By the way, check out the reviews, check out the other content. Of course, if you like just us talking about news, me and Tim started talking about horror movie news on Streams After Midnight as we were doing those episodes. And then just recently in the last month or so, we started separating that into its own little show, so it's just separate from the movies. So there's literally a horror movie news show now that I do with Tim that comes out most weeks. We took a couple of weeks off at one point because he was away on vacation.
A selfish prick.
He was away to Australia and he was confused as to why the goats were hopping around. He was very very disturbed by the whole affair. But so check out that. Check out Screams After Midnight. But in particular, if you like us talking about news, then maybe the horror movie news show is something you would enjoy. So that is us. That has been Almost Cancelled TV News. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?